Hello and welcome to a session that is focusing on the upper body through a Pilates session. This is a great complement to another video that I did focusing on the lower body in a Pilates format. So you will need a mat, perhaps a pillow, perhaps a towel, perhaps a glass of water. And we are going to start in a seated position. I'm just sitting right up on top of a pillow to begin, to help my hip flexors relax and my knees drop down to the ground, and raising the arms up and overhead. Exhale, let's stretch the arms out wide, long, and strong down to the ground. Inhale, you can look up as you reach up, and exhale, lowering down. And we're going to take this into a side body stretch. Bending the elbow and stretching overhead, just accentuating a little bit of movement for the upper body, warming up. Looking up to the sky as we come up and over side number 2. Try to open up that arm so it's not in front of the face, but it's beside the ear. And inhale, bend the elbow, and exhale, extend overhead. Breathe into the side body, the rib cage, looking up to the sky, and return to center. Roll the shoulders up, back, around, and down, releasing any tightness or tension, and reverse the direction. And let's bring the fingertips to the shoulders and do some arm circles or elbow circles, drawing circles with the elbows forwards and backwards. Reach the arms out wide to the side with fingertips up, and then let's rotate from the shoulders. So fingertips down and fingertips up. And arms are long and strong and reaching, and there's a nice stretch across the chest. Keep the palms facing upwards, and we'll lift those arms up and overhead and down to a T shape. Just using the arm's natural weight to gently warm up the upper body. And we're going to bring the arms forward and cross and open up wide and cross again in front with the other arm on top. And then just slice and switch and exhale forward, inhale, open. Moving into robot arms or cactus arms. Keep those elbows lifted parallel to the floor as we rotate palms down and palms facing forward. Reach elbows wide. And stretch arms to a T shape. And let's draw little circles with the palms facing down and keep that stretch and that length across the arms and chest, and reverse the arm circle direction. Try not to let the body move too much. Should feel some warmth, some heat building up in the shoulders. And let's release those arms down. Hands just onto the knees. We're going to inhale, shrug the shoulders up, and exhale, release. Let them drop down into gravity. With that exhale, we're releasing any tightness, tension, holding. Some ear drops from side to side. Warming up the neck. And then just bring the arms behind you, reach for opposite elbows, and continue the ear drops. Another 4 times. Looking down to stretch through the back of the neck and upper back, and looking up to stretch through the front of the neck. Shake that on out, graceful dismount from anything you may be sitting upon, and have some space behind you on your mat. Bring your hands behind you, fingertips facing forward, or alternatively, you could turn your fingers to the side if you prefer. Let's move into this tabletop or modified reverse plank position where we're lifting the hips up Knees bent, feet down, hip width apart. Inhale, lower the tailbone down, and exhale, lift the hips up. So there's quite a big stretch at the front of the shoulders here, and we're going to move into some tricep dips with the hips lifted, the elbows bend, and exhale, press. Inhale, bend the elbows, and exhale, press. Try to focus on the elbows bending, not just lowering and lifting the hips and glutes. But let this work come from the back of the arms, the triceps. And we're going to drop the tailbone down now with straight arms and lift the tailbone up. So a little bit of glute work, but still the shoulders have to stabilize and those triceps have to work here in this position. So it is total body. And let's return down again. Legs straight. Let's inhale, lift the arms up to the sky, and exhale, fold forward into a forward bend. You can rest the hands on the shins, ankles, toes, bottom of the feet. Relax shoulders, drop the head, breathe in. Bring hands back beside you, and let's roll up and out of that forward bend. Coming down onto your side body now, we're going to glue that elbow to the hip bone, and we're going to start to rotate palm up, palm down, fingertips up towards the ceiling and tapping down towards the ground. Sometimes I use a light weight like a 2-pound or a 3-pound weight or my water bottle here. This is a great move to start to strengthen some smaller, weaker muscles in our rotator cuff, in our shoulder. Just hold halfway in little pulses, up, down, up, down, up, down. And now make a fist and keep the arms still and just the wrist is moving up and down, up and down. Maybe feeling some work in the forearm. Place that palm down and place the bottom hand on the top shoulder and see if we can push up and away. Just lifting our bottom shoulder, our bottom side body away from the ground and returning back down. This is quite difficult, but it's a tricep move. Try to relax your legs so they're not helping too much. Exhale, push up, and inhale to tap that shoulder down. Try to do 8 or as many as you can, and then take a little break here. Stack the knees into that side-lying tabletop, and let's open up the top arm in a semicircle, twisting away. It's actually a full circle, so opening it up into the T shape and then continuing that arm down to the hip and forward again. And the head and neck are just following the movement of the arm. Breathing into that openness as you twist, and exhale, returning it back again. Let's stretch the top leg back behind us to help us transition over to side number 2. And coming right down onto your side body here. So we're going to start with a little bit of mobility for our rotator cuff. So find your elbow and your hip bone and glue them together and just start to rotate up and down with that arm. Fingertips tap down, fingertips point up. Everything else staying super still. Hold in the center for some pulses. And then make a fist and then just move from your wrist joint. And the rest of the arm stays still. Lifting knuckles up, dropping knuckles down. Taking that top hand, placing it down in front of you, in front of the bottom shoulder, and the bottom hand moves to the top shoulder. And we're going to try to push away with that top arm, trying to lift our bottom shoulder and side body away from the mat. Little tap down with the bottom shoulder to press back up again. Exhale, press, inhale, lower, relax the legs and hips. You can do it. It's a toughie. Good, and let's come into that side-lying, stacked legs in tabletop position for these full revolution arm circles. Twisting, looking at that back hand as it reaches away from the opposite arm. Let the chest open, let the legs relax. Breathe in as you lift the arm up and overhead, and exhale, bring it back again. Just stretching that top leg, pressing down to come up to a seated position. We're going to move into our next starting position, which is a lunge. So I'm just using a towel for my back knee, a little extra cushioning for that joint. And I've taken a big step forward, and I'm going to use the pillow just to rest the trunk of my body into the pillow, as opposed to dropping lower into my leg. And this helps me keep my spine more neutral and less rounded. And now using the back of the shoulders and our upper back body, we're going to lift those arms up and away like the wings of a bird. And then pulsing it out, couple inches down, couple inches up. Try to keep the rest of the body still. Now point the thumbs down and continue those pulses. So palms are facing away. And now turn the palms forward, thumbs up, and one more set of pulses. And try lifting those arms and bringing them overhead and then dropping them down, back and behind you, palms to the ceiling. Palms face each other as they reach overhead, and then exhale, they sweep back down by your side and palms facing up to the ceiling. So we've got a rotation, we've got work in our lats and our shoulders. Let's keep the arms behind us, palms up, and just pulsing, tricep work. And release. Let's give those legs a little relief by sitting back and flexing the front foot and just giving the hamstring a stretch and some breath. Pointing and flexing the foot, feeling some work in the calf. And both hands on one side as we sweep that leg back and behind us into a child's pose. Sitting to the heels, stretching arms overhead. Let's take a breath down the spine into that low back. And we're going to inhale back up again and take a step forward with your second leg. And I'm just using the pillow between the trunk of the body and the leg. And we're going to open up the arms like the wings of a bird. Soft elbows, so like 99% straight arms. Look, about 8 of these wing openers. This side, we're going to circle it out. Palms are facing down and they're little circles. 8 times. And then let's turn the thumbs up to the ceiling and reverse the direction of the circles. Try to keep the rest of the body still. Legs are working to maintain that lunge, especially the front leg. And now we're going to sweep the arms overhead, palms facing in, and sweep the arms back behind you, palms facing up. Keep that sensation of lifting the arms. Lift to sweep and lift to sweep. Keep the arms behind you now. Let's do those tricep pulses with straight arms, palms up to the ceiling, up an inch, down an inch, pulse, 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 pulse. And release into your lunge a little deeper for a moment. And we're going to stretch out that front leg. Sitting back, but I'm keeping the hips high, so I'm not sitting right down to the heel. And I'm pointing and flexing the foot, finding some sensation in the calf muscle. And just dropping hips, lifting hips, hands on both sides to sweep that leg back and behind you, coming out of the lunge. Wonderful. Moving into our next sequence. We'll drop down onto our front body. Drop tailbone So engage the glutes a little bit. Let's take one arm and the opposite leg away from the floor and just start to pulse up and down. Little pulse up and down, and then flex the foot and sweep the arm back. Point the toes and sweep the arm forward. Some footwork, some arm sweeping, lats engaged. Breath. And lower it down. Leg number 2. With the opposite arm floating up, we're going to pulse up and down 8 times. And then stay lifted here, flex the foot and sweep the arm down by the hip, and then point the toe and sweep the arm up and overhead. Flex and point, sweep down and up. Find that coordination and return to lower it down. Both arms and legs are going to float up, and now both arms are going to sweep down by the side, flex the feet, and reach both arms overhead again. Keeping the footwork, if you like. Flex the feet, arms overhead, point the toes, arms reach back and down. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the abdominals engaged. Let's do a few more. Keeping the arms behind you now for those tricep pulses, straight arms, palms up, pulse, 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 pulse. And now thumbs down. Let's pulse the arms again. Flex the feet. And release. Relax it down, bend the knees and sway it out side to side. And then come right up onto those elbows, stacked under the shoulders. And we're going to move into a swan. So let's not have the elbows wide to the side. No way, man. Never do that. Pull the elbows in close to each other. And try to keep the elbows close as they bend down to the mat. So this is a tricep swan push-up. Really great for the back of our arms and for our spinal extension. I just walked the hands a little closer to each other, another inch, and let those elbows stay in as they bend. That's the tough part. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press, and now just bend a little bit, and let's really pulse it out. Really micro pulse, so just up a few millimeters and down a few millimeters. Relax the legs, push all the way to the top. Let's look to the sky for that inhale, and exhale, release down. Stack hands, rest forehead, and sway the legs back out again. Side to side, hips move. And let's interlace fingers. Come up onto the elbows. Let's pick up those abdominals and straighten the legs into a plank. You can always keep the knees down to the ground to modify. Here's a great one for shoulders. We're going to point and flex the feet. So think of your ankle joints moving, and you shift your shape of your plank forward a couple inches and back a couple inches. And the shoulders work by stabilizing. Keep the chest lifting away from the floor. About 8, 9, or 10 of these, and we'll sit back into a rewarding child's pose. Take a breather. Take a moment to congratulate yourself. This is tough stuff. Coming into hands and knees hip width apart. We're going to take one arm forward and the opposite leg back. Find that balance. You can always keep the toes down into the ground, or you can keep the leg lifted as we circle that front arm. Reach out long. Each circle is longer in the arm. Now turn the thumb up and reverse the direction of the circle. See if the rest of the body can just stay still and balance. And with thumb up to the ceiling, we're going to pulse it out, that arm and opposite leg, pulsing up an inch and down. Breath, breath, breath. Reach a little longer, press a little stronger. And let's release, switch over to the other side. You can always keep the back foot down, or you can float it up, a little bit more challenging for the core and the balance, and the front arm circles. So shoulder work, lat work, some back work. Now reverse the circle and turn the thumb up to the ceiling, a different rotation for the arm. And let's lower an inch and lift an inch with that back leg and opposite arm, maintaining breath, focus, and balance. Reach out a little longer and bring it back to the center. Let's drop head and tail into a cat stretch. And lift head and tail into a cow stretch. Keeping the arms straight, let's walk the feet back into a higher plank for, of course, some Pilates push-ups. Now, you don't need to take it super low to the ground. I prefer you just did a micro push-up and you kept your form and alignment. Only going to do 3 at a time. And in between, you can either drop into child's pose or you can pike the hips up into downward facing dog. We'll try that again. Establish your plank pose and inhale, bend the elbows, exhale, press. Try not to drop the head forward. Let's go for 3, and then your choice, child's pose or downward dog. Breathe in. If you're in downward dog, we're going to do some overhead push-ups, and this is with wide elbows. So you're going to bend those elbows to the side, let the head come closer to the ground, and exhale, press the arms straight. Okay, one more set. Let's try those Pilates push-ups again from a high plank starting position. Give me 3, and pop the hips to the sky, downward dog. And let's try those overhead push-ups. Elbows bend a little bit and exhale, press the arms straight. Feel the work in the shoulders and back. Drop the heels down as the arms straighten. And find that plank pose. And just like when we were on our elbows, we're going to move those ankle bones, shifting our shape forward a few inches and back. Abs stay strong and engaged. We're almost there. You can do it. Happy thoughts. And let's do child's pose, reaching the arms to the side. Forehead drops, tailbone drops. Breath drops in. Switch sides. Bring it back to the center. One final breath here in the middle. And I'm just sitting on the cushion and bringing the hands to the back of the head. I'm going to open this up into a chest opener, heart lifter, stretch through the chest in front of the shoulders, give myself a little back bend, interlace the hands behind you and move those arms away from the body, looking over one shoulder and then the other. I'm just facing forward for this tricep stretch, bringing one elbow behind the head and holding with the opposite hand. Turning this into a side bend. Let the head press into the arm. And now I'm sweeping that arm I was holding on top of the opposite arm, which is hugging close to the chest. And I'm just lifting the arm up and down, getting a little bit of movement in this stretch. Did a lot of shoulder work, so we're just stretching through the back of the shoulder. Let's do the second side. So the tricep stretch first, back of the arm. Holding the opposite elbow and bringing a side body bend into this. Breath in. The same elbow we're holding, that arm is going to sweep in front of us. We're going to hug it in with the opposite arm. Maybe a little wrist circle here. And now just lifting and lowering the arm, feeling the difference of the sensation of the stretch throughout the back of the shoulder. And let's release those arms, just let them sweep and sway and naturally kind of hit the back of the shoulder, little pressure point. And let's reach up to the sky with the arms and lower the arms down. Inhale, lift, lengthen. And exhale, release and lower. A few more times. You could keep eyes closed. Or you can look up to the sky as you reach high, palms together. And let's fold forward over those legs. Maybe forehead or crown of the head drops to the ground. Take a moment, maybe shift side to side. Just when you thought it was over, there's the bonus moves. So I just came up and rotated the fingers to face the knees, just to stretch through those arms, forearms, and wrists. And I'm doing little circles, 4 times one direction, then the other direction. And popping up into a forward bend, taking a moment to be upside down, shifting the hips side to side, interlacing the hands, reaching up and overhead, crown of the head down, heels grounded, tailbone lifted, shoulder blades squeezed, and heel toeing the feet hip width apart, and a nice slow roll up to standing. I think we're finally done. Thanks for joining, everybody. Until next time.